We like celebrations at Wigs for Kids, and this is the second celebration that we have for our stylists in Wigs for Kids that partner with us. And we're here again with Tom Greiner, our executive director, and two new faces that are part of the 20 members at the headquarters at Wigs for Kids serving our children all over the United States and Canada. Tom, this is exciting. I know we've said thank you and we've said different ways of saying thank you to our stylists, but you guys have really made this a campaign of really reaching out to our stylists that really support us, help us, care for our kids. What are we doing to say thank you right now? What are we doing in regards to really reaching out and being able to touch them, so to say?
Well, we've changed our system, and I think that's made a big difference for our stylists. I know it has for our families. So in the past, families contacted stylists first and said, would you help me with be a part of Wigs for Kids? We now reach out to each stylist. We explain that they're on the website and they've said they've had their training and they're ready to go, but we tell them now we have a family ready and we're ready to answer any questions if they need about their family, if they ask. Not specific names, not specific diagnosis, but a little bit about the family. And we're there to answer any questions that they might have about the process, because they may have been certified 5 years ago, and finally now in their neighborhood, in their city, a child has developed an illness. So at that point now we're rebuilding that relationship. So we're working with that at all times. And so we're going to do some special recognition, but we try very hard to always meet the needs of those stylists. So if they express needs, we understand that and we try to give that direction to the family. So we're always working to build that partnership between that professional volunteer with us and our family and our staff.
And you know, over the last, I would say 3 to 5 years, you've made it kind of your mission to really reach out to these stylists. And so, like you said, new systems, new ways to communicate on their level of text instead of emails, and the things that really work after hours and months and years of really researching and trying to find out what best suits, including focus groups that we've had at that time. For those that are watching, there's a lot of that are not partnered with us. There's stylists all over the country and in North America that are watching. What is a certified service provider, a CSP, in regards to partnering with Wigs for Kids? What does it look like, and what does it take to become a certified service provider?
Sure. So once a stylist shows interest in our program, they can fill out online, and they fill in their general contact information, the salon where they work. And then we will send them a text with a link to schedule an interview to talk with me. And I get to know them a little bit, verify their information, go over their training and their quiz that they took, and then answer any questions that they have. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is actually getting them into the program, send out their welcome packet, and then ultimately partnering them with a child.
Very good. Now, certification training, because as we've said before, the stylists are busy and it's hard for them to get away, and they don't want to, maybe have to take hours and hours of class or have to leave their location to come and get trained at the headquarters. What is a certification program training look like?
So everything's online. There's a series of some video segments that they'll watch, and at the end they'll take a quiz. So it takes about 45 minutes to an hour altogether that they can do wherever is convenient for them.
And they're taught the certification of how to measure the child. They're taught about the cap and how to receive the hairpiece and to cut it in at that point, which is the celebration of celebrations at that point.
Yeah, but even better too, it's always there. They can always look back, log back in, and get a refresher whenever they want. They know they can text me, email the team, and we'll send them whatever they need as well. So we're always there for them.
Now, see, there's one question that always pops up, which is, how many kids do I have to do, or how many kids do I do, because I still have a business to run, or I still have a clientele to run? What is the answer to that? How many do they have to do, or do they do?
We have to be extremely sensitive to that. So that's why we reach out to them and we invite them to take a child. We don't say, you have a child. We say, would you like to have a child? And so they have the right to say no. Now, we have stylists.
No, because they might be too busy, or they're out of town.
Right, or they're moving, or whatever.
Right.
But we have stylists that will say, don't call me, just send the kids. And we say, no, every child needs to be notified to the stylist in the form of an invitation. Would you like to take this child on and work with that child? Sometimes because of these distances that these families have to travel, we have to work with the stylist to let them know. A family might have to go 3 hours to get to them. That's why we need more stylists to break that down. So a stylist needs to be aware that a family's in transit, they might be a little late. So the more information we can share with the stylist about the needs of the family, the better that stylist feels. And the better they feel, the more children they work with.
And again, even at the maximum level, they're not typically doing one a month across the board. They may be seeing 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 a year. And that session is pretty, the ones that done it want to do more. Of course, we've learned that.
Yes.
But in turn, I think that the other part of it is that there's not an overwhelm. They're not overwhelmed. And you're giving them the freedom to say, I have a book solid. I can't do that. So we then work towards in the effort of finding other stylists to be trained and certified at that point.
That's correct. We ask the stylists that when they are in that situation to help us recruit in their area, to reach out, give us names. We have links. We link directly to that person, show them the website, show them how to get trained. So we will support that stylist that can't take that child today by helping to put a child, in touch with another stylist.
People don't realize behind the scenes how much goes on, because when you hear about Wigs for Kids, or you've seen some stories in the magazines and TV shows that we've done, you know about the kid getting the wig. And then maybe you hear about the ponytail being cut. But the amount of diversification behind the scenes that has to be clicked and checklisted and followed up with and forms and everything else that doesn't burden the stylist, but we have to do to support the stylist and the family. And that's really what I think the majority of the time at headquarters is all about.
That's correct. Most of the time we're working with supporting both. We want to make sure the family's comfortable, understands the process, and then we want to respond to the stylist, because without them, we can't operate. So our network across the country is critical.
Sarah, you really deal a lot with the level of the kind of medical condition that our recipients have. Give us a little rundown of the because most everybody thinks it's cancer all the time. And that's where we started, with my niece, Laura, cancer, went through chemotherapy. But the percentages have changed over the years, and give us some insight behind the scenes of what kind of hair loss that we're dealing with.
Sure. So most of the recipients that we serve have some form of alopecia. So there's different types of alopecia areata. There's also alopecia totalis, where everything on the head is gone, and then including eyebrows. You don't always think about that sort of thing. And then also alopecia universalis, where it could be there's no hair across the body at all. And that's about 2/3 of all of the recipients we have are alopecia patients. Cancer is still a huge part. All the different treatments, a lot of it comes with hair loss. But we've seen a growing trend of trichotillomania, and that's an obsessive compulsive disorder where someone is pulling their hair out from their head. And that's kind of a revolving cycle. Like, they may feel self-conscious about people looking at them with thinner hair, and then that may force them to pull even more of their hair out. So it can be very difficult for our kids to deal with.
And very devastating for the family as well.
Absolutely.
So the hairpiece that we create, all hand-tied, beautiful virgin hair, is pretty amazing, of kind of a ability for them to help that child. As a parent going through the process.
Yeah, and every hairpiece is made specifically for that child. So in the first appointment, where the measurements are taken, we're making sure that everything is going to fit and be comfortable for the child. The child gets to choose what color they want to have their hair. Sometimes it's the same as their natural color, and sometimes they want to switch it up a little bit and have a new look.
Blonde, from a brunette to a blonde.
Yeah, say, I tried brunette, let me try blonde this time. Let's see how that goes. And it's just another level of comfort for them. A lot of the kids, when they talk about their hair loss journey, they are concerned about what other people think when they see them. So this is an extra area for comfort and self-confidence to make them navigate the world and feel free to be themselves and look themselves and live their lives.
That's right. You just explained that the kind of hair loss has shifted in stats. What has happened in the population of people that we're serving, the amount of kids over let's say the last 5 years or 6 years? What has the change been?
it's growing every single year. So each year we've served more children. Last year, we served 734 families, and this year we're on pace for over 1,100. So there are more families reaching out for our help to get their free of charge hairpieces for their children.
At no cost.
No cost whatsoever.
Well,
Zero.
Tom, they don't just get a wig. Even though it's, very expensive hand-tied virgin hair constructed with the absolute highest levels of, the materials. But in turn, they get a couple of their things in their package. What is that they get in their package?
Well, they receive a box with the hairpiece, and it has the styrofoam head in it that'll hold the hairpiece. And the little ones that get their boxes and open them up and take, that's what they see first. And that almost like it's a toy. They pull it out and then they have shampoo, they have conditioner, detangler. There are 5 different products. There's a brush, a towel. All of these products are support products for the care of the wig. There's a set of instructions on how to care for your wig, your hairpiece. And we really, really stress that they need to take that box, if possible, to the stylist so that the stylist can talk to them about those products, show them how to use the brush properly, how to use the styrofoam head properly, and take care of the hairpiece. And I really think by a stylist doing that leadership, it takes a tremendous burden off the mother, because now the mother has an ally. She has a partner in this moment of taking on a new responsibility for some, And with our cancer patients, the stress on the mother is oftentimes, or the parent, is very, very, very difficult. They're going through treatments, or sometimes they're impatient. They have to wait to get a measurement, or they have to wait to get a style. So if the stylist can take that just a little bit off of that burden with that mother, that mother is so happy, so appreciative. So that's what takes place when they do the styling appointment, the second appointment. That comes when we send the hairpiece to the family, and they make their appointment, and they go over to see the stylist.
Now, on our webpage, we have even instructions on how to take care, videos instructions step by step. We've got also where they can communicate with us as well, the stylist and the parents and family members. And that gives them a nice connection, a link that doesn't just let them hang out there. Like you're saying, there's enough stress of a child that's losing their hair, whether it's medically related to chemo or alopecia or trichotillomania or burn. Those are the elements that I think that we, as a stylist, but an organization, really challenge each day our team to be able to provide better service for them.
Absolutely. And I think the other part of our website that Sarah should explain is our stories.
We have a community story section on the website that chronicles recipients and stylists and donors, and it helps everyone know that they are never alone on their hair loss journey. So if someone's new to hair loss, they've got a child that just recently started to lose their hair, they can go on our website and find out about other families that have dealt with the same thing and how Wigs for Kids has been able to go and help them.
And, Sarah, that's excellent. Let's take a look at some of these stories that really can touch the hearts of the people watching, both the stylists and maybe a recipient out there that's really looking for some help at this point.
Hi, my name is Lily, and I'm 7 years old. Last year, I got really sick, and the doctors told me I had leukemia. I had to spend a lot of time in the hospital getting medicine and pills, and missing school and my friends. One of the hardest parts was losing my hair. I didn't like when people stared at me. I would even see kids whispering about me. I started wearing hats and hoodies everywhere I went. Just wanted to hide or maybe disappear.
if you have a dry eye or you haven't laughed, belly laughed from those stories and those incredible transformations, I think, you have to watch it again because it just has so much of the storylines that we see every day and the stylists that work with us every day. But Tom, I want to come back to you because there is a great need. And, everybody says, what's the need? And the first need that everybody thinks about is finance in a nonprofit organization because we don't charge any child for any hairpiece. We repeat that hairpiece as needed every year. We provide that product when they get their first hair system and each one after that. But in turn, even though we always need financial donations, and I don't want to play that down, we can't do our work to serve these children and these families without stylists in the areas that are necessary. You said that some have to drive 3 hours to 4 hours to get to one of our certified service providers. Tell us about this great need that we have.
Well, it's an interesting fact because where you think there wouldn't be a need is where it surprises us. So in the state of Washington, way up in the northwest, we have the highest number of children being seen by one stylist in that state. But in Oregon, directly below them, we have one stylist for the whole state. And so that state is a serious problem. We need to get more involved in the state of Oregon. In the middle of the country, we have what I call the four states, or the four corners, because Kansas could have many, many stylists in Kansas City, but none in Wichita and none on the west end of Kansas. In Oklahoma, you'll see stylists in Oklahoma City, but nobody north or south of Oklahoma City. In Arkansas, you might see one stylist in the north and none in the south, and that's a long state. See, and Missouri is the other one that's in that group. So in the middle of the country, we have these very populated areas like Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Fayetteville, Arkansas, but we have all this rural area around it. And those children need help. And those are the ones that often have to go a distance. Or we work through maps and everything looking for a recruit for that area. The next area is the East Coast. And no matter how hard we work, we can never get enough for the East Coast. So New Jersey and Virginia and those areas are really, really important. There's high population, a lot of traffic, difficult to get to, okay? New York City. You think about, we say one city, but city, it's not one city, it's a great big geographic area. And for people to get to a stylist from Manhattan to Long Island is not an easy task for a mom and a sick child because they use mass transportation, so it's subway. And so moving a child through a subway may not be the easiest way. So each of those target areas, from the Northwest to down in Texas, on the west end of Texas, in the middle of the state, in states of Kansas, Nebraska, those states, Utah, in that area, all the way over to the East Coast. So we are constantly searching for opportunities for stylists to contact us so that we can share our message with them.
And somebody going 3 hours to a certified service provider is passing, I would say, a minimum of 100 salons, no matter where they're at. And I think that I want to challenge the viewing audience. If you're in any area, but especially the ones that we are in greatest need of, join us. It is an incredible impact in your life. The transformation when you turn a child around, and I can tell you that every day for the 44 years that we've been doing this, every time that I've turned a child around, even as current as yesterday, is an absolute explosion within the emotions and the feel-good feelings that put a confidence in us, as well as seeing that child have the confidence in them appear in the same time period that they'd walked in the door and that they walk out. So we need you to join us because it's really needed. But now you've heard that. We want to kind of celebrate the ones that we do have taking care of these kids all over the United States and Canada. Tom, you've got something that you're going to provide from our team for all the certified service providers.
We have a certificate for each one of the 552 stylists we have today. And then we will also be sending a gift to our selected top stylists that have seen 10 children or more.
Over their full-time period of being with us, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they will all be getting a special gift of a phone charger. stand for their
And everybody has a phone.
So we hope that that will help them because, as you said earlier, stylists are busy. They need text messaging, not emails, not phone calls. And so this gives them an opportunity to have that phone nearby and get their text messages quickly.
And I didn't comment when you picked that gift and you shared it with me, but every stylist is running around the salon typically. Where's my charger? My phone is, I'm going to die if my phone dies. So that is going to be a wonderful gift for them to receive. So let's honor them. We're going to show a series of them that have had the ability to service in their time with us 10
or more children.
Okay, so let's do that right now. Hairstylists, all of you are a gift and you're a hero for giving of your time and your treasure and your passion. And we all at Wigs for Kids want to thank you, thank you, and thank you. There's no way for us to reach out and give you all hugs, but feel yourself hugged at this point. Tom, it's really important. We just were talking while the credits were going on with some of the beautiful people and stylists that are certified providers caring for our kids. But there's also a lot of stylists that we get lost in our system, and we try to keep it pretty tight. And I know you write a tight ship. What happens because of the movement of stylists from one salon to another, from one suite to another? What happens to their connection to Wigs for Kids?
Oftentimes it gets cut because they don't contact us. If they will contact us, we update immediately. And we're thankful for that. Last year, we did an outreach for over 75 stylists that we could not reach. When we do the reach out, each time we reach out for a child, if we can't reach a stylist, then we do a follow-up and we'll connect 2 or 3 times. And then if we can't reach them, we have to let it go. And that's just really painful. And then later we might hear from that stylist who will say, oh, I didn't even think about the fact that I relocated or I started my own salon or I got sick and I was out for a year, but now I'm back. And so it's very, very important that they let us know where they are at all times because that's our relationship. We want to be their partner with the child. And to be a good partner, you need to keep both partners informed.
That's right. That's really good. That's really good. Sarah, any last thoughts that you have? Because you do so much. You're the head of the hair. You're the hair girl. And you also obviously managing that beautiful website that has become a real educational, inspirational tool for Wigs for Kids. Any other thoughts that you kind of want to send as a message to those that are watching?
No, it's a joy every day to see a child light up when they receive their hairpiece. It's the most fulfilling part of the job when you see their eyes light up and a smile that just radiates from within and shows how appreciative they are of these free of charge hairpieces. So I want to just say thank you to every stylist that shares their time and talent with us. Thank you to every hair donor that grows to give. And we need more. We need more to help make lives better for more kids. So if we can get more people to grow their hair and grow it naturally, and if we can get more stylists to help with that process, then we can transform more lives.
And you know, it was so well said, because that illumination of that child and the parents or grandparents, they light up in just about the same way, because we've taken a burden off of their shoulders. You were talking about that time, that burden that is carried because they can't fix it. They can't make the hair come out of the follicle, but they can reach out to Wigs for Kids and fill out the application, and we don't turn kids away in 44 years, as long as they follow the plan of action of the steps to get the registration and the request in at that point.
That's correct. Right.
Okay. Well, I hope for those that are not partners that you've been stimulated, you've been motivated, you've been inspired. And for those of you that have, been a partners, we've said thank you. We're going to say thank you again. And I want you to remember that beauty and change begins within, and you are a beautiful part of Wigs for Kids. Thank you.